Happy New Year's, everybody. Hope you guys have a lot of fun things planned ahead of you for tonight, and that it's going to be a good time. And for those of you who already celebrated, hope that you had a good time and it's something fun to usher in the new year of 2026. So, what I wanted to do today is kind of do a recap, a review of 2025, and looking forward ahead of us into 2026. 2025 has been a relatively good year. I went through a lot of different changes and stuff within the streaming schedule, the streams itself. We saw a lot of growth within just the followers to subscribers on Twitch, where we've gone up to around 900 something followers, which is pretty crazy. And I think just in this month right now, I think we're at 15 subscribers, something like that, which is also really cool. So so we've been seeing a lot of growth, which is awesome. Took a hiatus during the summer, went and worked during the summer out in California. Came back, and that's when we started really kicking off on the streaming and everything else. And made some changes within the scheduling because, as a lot of you are aware, Halo Infinite is kind of finished. It's over. It's done. HCS is concluded for Halo Infinite, and they are taking a hiatus during 2026. They do have some planned events in December at Halo Fest. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, tickets are still available. So you should definitely look into getting that. Love to see you there. We went to Worlds for the first time, and that was such a great experience. I had so much fun. It rained a lot, which that's kind of no surprise for Washington State, I guess. Um, but it was really, really cool. I've always wanted to go to Worlds ever since I really got involved in the Halo scene. But I just could never secure the time off to be able to do that. But this year, because of the work I did during the summer, that made that possible, which was awesome. Otherwise, in the past I've been always going to the SSG events that they've been doing in Salt Lake City, and those have been so much fun. I've had so much fun with that. Um, Things that have also went on. So, 2025 also saw changes on the esports environment for myself. So I had, as a lot of you are aware, I was the manager for UVU's Halo esports team for a little while now. And then I was part of the committee that rebuilt the organization. So with the hopes and dreams that we would be able to get the esports organization for UVU in the direction that they need to be able to start getting scholarships for the students. Um, After that, stepped away from the kind of like the esports scene as far as collegiates are concerned, and started focusing on my Twitch streaming channel, trying to build my own small team itself. Because I have a group of friends that I played Halo a lot with. We all met during the Halo 5 days, and it's been a lot of fun. And we did a few competitions before, but unfortunately, we couldn't keep things going to continue that growth and in the direction that I had hoped. So maybe next time. I don't know. We'll see. I would like it. It would be a lot of fun. The other things that have been happening is Battlefield 6 dropped. So we've also been playing a little bit of that. I've played some Red Sec, which has been a lot of fun. I've actually enjoyed Battlefield 6 a lot more than I had been of recent with Call of Duty. We ended up dropping Call of Duty from the streams and kind of dropped Tarkov a bit. Tried to dive a little bit back into it a little bit more after the 1.0 release this year, and it's still been a slow build in itself. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy with that as well. We also have been playing a lot of Helldivers. As if you're part of been around with the community, as you're aware, we ended up replacing Friday Halo Nights with Helldivers, so it's Friday Freedom Night. So we play a lot of Helldivers on Friday. Battlefield is what you generally will find on Thursday. We have taken Saturday out of the schedule, and Halo had been sitting on Sundays. Going into 2026, because of the direction that Halo is in at the moment, you're probably going to start seeing less and less Halo, and we'll be adding Splitgate into that. Splitgate, so another one. During the summer, it had been struggling a lot. Splitgate was one that looked like it was going to be a lot of fun to play, and potentially a replacement for Halo, especially since the group that I play with kind of started getting burnt out, and wanted to play something else. We started playing Splitgate, but then Splitgate started having some of its problems, and it looks like they fixed it. Splitgate relaunched this month, and I've been enjoying it. A couple of my friends have gotten into it, so you could potentially start seeing Splitgate replacing Halo as far as the scheduling is concerned, going into 26. Some other changes. So, as a lot of you are also aware, there's been a lot of chaos going on of recent in 2025, just in these past several months. September was a very chaotic month. A lot happened at my university, and outside of that too. So my university was fell victim to a tragedy, and then within my faith itself, a congregation from my faith, one of a church part that's associated to my faith, also was a victim to a unfortunate situation. And so there's just been a lot of hate that has been leading to a lot of these undesired events. And so that has of recent kind of got me to start pondering and thinking about what I could do and playing a role and a part in bringing light to a world that is just so dark, that's filled with a lot of anger, a lot of hate, a lot of hurt, and how I can utilize my platform to create a space of light, joy, kindness, goodness. I'm still trying to figure a lot of this stuff out and how to make that direction possible. It doesn't mean that there's necessarily going to be changes to the content that's streamed, because competitive gameplay is still going to be around. I'm still going to be a competitive game player. But I'm trying to figure out how exactly to navigate my platform into this direction or this vision that I have as well. There's going to be changes to the Discord. Looking at adding some different categories. One of the things that I had in mind is creating a spot where you can kind of talk about like your achievements. You can talk about some of your struggles, like with those butthead co-workers to bosses, so you can have a space to like vent, have a shoulder to lean on. So, and what kind of brought in that idea is that after a little bit after the incident at my university, a group formed that has members associated to my faith, that formed this group, and essentially it's a group designed for men, where they all get together at the local Costco. Actually, the local Costco in the town that I used to live in. That's not that very far from me, but it's the town also where my university is. They get together and they get pizza and then they talk. Basically, it's a space for men to talk about their achievements, to talk about maybe some struggles they're having, because it's one of those things that commonly is hard for guys to talk about, like their feelings and to open up about how their struggles and everything. It's kind of like it's not even kind of, it's been for a long time, throughout time, a taboo subject. That men, basically, it's this idea that men are always supposed to be very strong and not allowed to show emotion, because emotion is weakness, and if you expose that weakness, it can be used against you. People will take advantage of it. So for a long time, men have always locked away that, and that causes problems. It Where you don't know how to control like your anger, you don't know how to control a lot of different emotions, and so creating this outlet allows you to express that and to have people that can help shoulder your burdens and show you that you are not alone, as well as not even just that you're not alone, but that you're wanted and needed. For women, that's generally not too difficult for them. The women tend to have their friend groups, and they're always out doing things. And for guys, that's not always the case. Like some do, sure. Especially for those who are gamers, that's not very hard to find some groups and to connect with. Like all the people that I game with, for an example, I've all met them through gaming, and we have officially, for the most part, all have finally met in person. Back in November, one of the members in our group got married, and we all went to his wedding. It was so much fun, and so we have a picture of all of us together, and so it was really really cool to have that. But that's one of those things that I want to start implementing, is to basically kind of create this family unit within my community. And so that's one of those things that I'm working on and trying to figure out how to fully implement going into 2026. Some other things is bringing in a little bit more influence from my faith into my streaming content. So meaning that a lot of that kind of already exists. A lot of it's within the rules that I've been very laxative on, and so I'm going to be better at kind of cracking down on that and being holding myself a little bit more accountable to those rules and others to the rules that they agreed to. So what that means is that people who I game with, if they can't follow the rules, then they just won't have their voice broadcasted on the stream. And if they can follow the rules, then they're part of the stream. And so there's going to be things like that that's going to be implemented. As far as YouTube, now YouTube, I've been trying to give it a little bit more focus and attention this year. And we've seen some growth in there. But it's one that I could do better. It's been hard to do a lot of that this year. I've done some more compared to years past, but it could be better. There's always more room for improvement. So I'm going to be putting some more focus and attention in 2026 on this channel. One of the things I'm also trying to figure out is, will I be rebranding this channel, or will I end up creating a new channel? What I mean by that is that through some of these things that have been going on and some areas that I've been associating myself with, I have been feeling more of wanting to go in a direction when it comes to YouTube, to either continue posting clips and snippets from my Twitch streams onto this channel, and or adding another category to this channel, or creating a different channel altogether that is more reflective on my faith. What I would be doing with that is what I've been talking about, is trying to bring light in a world that is full of darkness, and try to break through that more, or assisting breaking through that more, to essentially bring in more uplifting messages. So it is possible I may just rebrand this channel altogether, in the sense of like I'll have two categories going on, so people can kind of keep up with the things going on Twitch, and then there will be a section where it's all centered on that, where it's just bringing light into a world that needs more light, needs more goodness, and or I'm just going to create a whole nother channel. Let me know your thoughts down below. That could maybe help me figure that out in that direction it needs to go. If I just rebrand this channel, or should I just create a new channel? YouTube is one that I've been trying to better understand. I've had this channel for a while. It's just one that I just never really understood and wasn't really taking the time in the past. All my energy was focusing on Discord and Twitch, but I started to this year figure out how to utilize YouTube a little bit better, and so it's one that still has more room for growth and opportunity. And so let me know in your comments below what you'd like to see, and what your ideas are of the direction of, like, should I rebrand this channel, or should I just create a new channel focusing on that? Other than that, another thing is that if you like to cosplay, So there's an organization within the Halo community called the 405th. The 405th does a lot of Halo cosplaying. So that was another one that when I went to HCS Worlds that I got associated with through my adopted brother who is part of the 405th. So I got to meet a lot of the members there. And so myself, I've been working on my own setup for cosplaying. I've been in the works of building an ODST cosplay. So if you are in the Discord, you've probably already seen the helmet. But so that helmet is in the works of being finalized and finished. So I'm really excited for that. And then we'll be putting together other parts of the suit. What it is basically going to be an ODST cosplay setup. And then maybe eventually we'll branch that into a Spartan. But right now we're starting at the ODST level. So I'm really excited for it. It's going to be really, really cool. And so that is coming up. I'll probably show that off once I get that going a little bit more. And the fact that as we're getting closer to finishing it. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. Other than that, that kind of concludes, the recap of 2025, and also looking forward into 2026. So with those changes that are envisioned and slowly in the works, it's not going to be an overnight thing where it's all these changes happen. It's going to be a slow, progressive thing because it's a lot of this huge vision that I'm still trying to figure out how to properly implement. So over time, those changes will start reflecting on the Discord and everything else. So again, if you have ideas, let me know in the comments below. The other thing is that, so as a lot of you may be aware, I was part of the United States Army Reserves. My enlistment began in December of 2019, and it concluded in October of 2024. Unfortunately, it concluded earlier than it was supposed to. It was a 6-year contract, but because of some certain events that took place during 2020, consequently led to an early release. It was a release that I didn't want, and I tried to fight, and it was unsuccessful, unfortunately. So that led to my early release and separation from the Army. But because of the early release, I had to go through a cooldown. However, right before I left for the summer during 2025, I was working with a recruiter to get things going again, to rejoin the Army. And picked that back up about the end of August, early September. And don't really have too many updates because I was supposed to meet with my recruiter right before Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving, but things came up for them, so we had to push it back. And it was supposed to be during the week going towards Thanksgiving, but didn't hear from them, and I was focusing on wrapping up the semester, so didn't really try to put too much effort into that. And then I've just been kind of busy this month in itself. But I'm hoping to give more of an update on that here soon. But the plan and hope is that I'll get that finalized in the month of January. And so if that happens, what does that mean? So essentially, my plan is to change the job that I had. So before I was a 12 Bravo, which is a combat engineer, but I'm looking at trying to switch over into the intelligence side of things, so military intelligence. And so if I can successfully make that happen, then what's likely going to happen potentially is that I will leave during the summer for training. I don't think there's really any way to make that sooner. TBD on that. TBA, actually, really. But I'm hoping to have all that done by the summer at the latest. And so more information to come. But that's something else that's in the works. Another thing is that during the fall semester, about the end of the semester, I was denied my financial aid for the fall. So I unfortunately owe the tuition for the fall semester, and because I owe tuition, that means that I can't go back to school during the spring until I have that tuition paid off. So unless some magical miracle happens before the deadline of classes, I won't be doing spring term, which is unfortunate because I'm a senior. So all I had left was basically the spring and the summer, and or the fall. But if I can't get in the spring, then it's looking like I'll be doing the fall and spring of 2027. Unfortunately. So yeah, that's what is happening when it comes to the school side of things. Um, so if I am not able to do the spring, then that just means that outside of my day job, I'll be focusing a lot on the army. We'll have more time to stream. So we'll have more opportunity for growth before bigger changes happen. So looking forward to 2026. It's going to be a fun year. We got a lot going on for 2026. Um, and like I said, when it comes to the streaming schedule, we will be more than likely replacing Halo with Splitgate. So we'll be seeing basically more Battlefield, more Helldivers, and more Splitgate. We're also contemplating bringing back Sea of Thieves. Still contemplating on it. We'll see. But that's another thing. You can let me know in the comments below what are some things you'd like to see on the streams when it comes to Twitch. Um, Essentially, generally what happens is that on Fridays we do Freedom Friday. What that means is that on Freedom Friday we play Helldivers. We also have implemented Freedom Fries. So we also have French fries on Fridays. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026, and I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's. And again, if you have suggestions, comments, feel free to let me know below. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Have a good evening and happy New Year's. Cheers.